It was the year 1941. The Philippines was a beautiful archipelago under the warm tropical sun, a land filled with hope, laughter, and dreams. Farmers tended their fields, fishermen cast their nets into the deep blue sea, and children played in the narrow streets of Manila, unaware that their world was about to change forever. But across the Pacific Ocean, dark clouds were gathering, a storm that would soon reach Philippine shores. On December 8, 1941, just hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese bombers appeared in the skies above Clark Air Base and Baguio.
Explosions echoed through the mountains and cities. The Philippines, still under American control, was suddenly thrown into the chaos of World War II. People ran for shelter. The once peaceful cities turned into battlefields.
Within weeks, Japanese forces landed in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The invasion had begun. General Douglas MacArthur, commander of the Allied forces in the Far East, tried to hold the line, but the enemy was too strong, too fast. In January 1942, Filipino and American soldiers were ordered to retreat to Bataan and Corregidor, the last strongholds of resistance. Inside the jungles of Bataan, thousands of young Filipino soldiers fought with bravery beyond measure. They had little food, little ammunition, and no hope of reinforcements, yet they refused to surrender. Many were students, farmers, and fishermen who had never held a rifle before. They fought not for glory, but for their families, their land, and the freedom of their people.
Para sa bayan.
But after months of relentless battle, hunger and disease began to take their toll. By April 9, 1942, Bataan fell. Over 70,000 Filipino and American soldiers were captured by the Japanese. Then came one of the darkest chapters in Philippine history, the Bataan Death March. For nearly 100 kilometers, the prisoners were forced to march from Mariveles, Bataan, to San Fernando, Pampanga, under the burning sun, with little water or food. Those who stumbled were beaten. Those who fell were shot. Thousands never made it to the end. Even in death, they carried with them the spirit of resistance, the unyielding will of the Filipino heart. On the small island fortress of Corregidor, the last defenders of the Philippines continued to fight. Cannon fire shook the tunnels of Malinta, where soldiers and nurses worked tirelessly to save the wounded. But by May 6, 1942, Corregidor also fell. The Philippines was officially under Japanese occupation.
Corregidor has been captured. These islands are now under Imperial Japanese control.
For 3 long years, the Philippines endured unimaginable suffering. Japanese soldiers ruled with fear and cruelty. Cities were burned, women were abused, and entire families were torn apart. But even in the darkest times, the flame of resistance never died. Across the mountains and forests, Filipino guerrillas rose up. Ordinary men and women, teachers, farmers, students, took up arms in secret. They formed resistance groups like the Hukbalahap, the Hunters ROTC, and countless local units that fought the occupiers in the shadows. They sabotaged supply lines, gathered intelligence, and rescued prisoners. They became the unseen heroes of the war, the lifeline of the Filipino spirit. Ambient, distant shouts layered, "Para sa bayan."
People of the Philippines, I shall return.
Then, one message changed everything. In 1944, from the shores of Australia, General MacArthur spoke to the world.
People of the Philippines, I shall return.
It was more than just a promise. It was hope reborn. On October 20th, 1944, true to his word, MacArthur landed on the beaches of Leyte. By his side stood thousands of brave Filipino soldiers. The Battle of Leyte Gulf would become one of the largest naval battles in history, a turning point in the Pacific War. The skies were filled with fire. The sea was covered in smoke. But for the first time in years, Filipinos began to believe again that freedom was near. By early 1945, the Allied forces pushed forward to Manila. What followed was one of the most brutal urban battles of the war, the Battle of Manila. The city was reduced to ashes. Distant battle shouts, "Para sa bayan." Over 100,000 civilians were killed in just 1 month. The destruction was immense, but even greater was the courage of those who survived. And then, in July 1945, it was finally over. Japan surrendered. The war that had taken millions of lives across the world had ended. In the Philippines, the people wept, not only for victory, but for the loved ones they had lost, and the price they had paid for freedom. The Philippines rose from the ruins, scarred but unbroken. From the ashes of war, a new nation emerged, one that understood the meaning of sacrifice and the power of unity. To this day, the stories of Bataan, Corregidor, and Leyte remind us that freedom is never free. It is earned through courage, suffering, and unwavering hope. So when you see the Philippine flag waving under the golden sun, remember those who fought when all seemed lost, the heroes who whispered in the dark.
For our country, for our people, for freedom.
Because even in the darkest night of war, the Filipino spirit never surrendered.